What's up and welcome back. John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I need you to stay. Yeah, I I don't want to do the full scream thing. I don't even know how that. I don't know how he doesn't lose his voice. But there's no Benson Boone cameo in Stay, so automatically just disappointed. Uh, they didn't even use the song. They just foregone the whole thing. So this is Stay. It's part of Hulu's persistent desire to offer us horror adjacent uh, material during the month of October, which has turned out some films that have been watchable, but I don't think memorable. I'm not really sure anybody's clamoring to watch Mr. Crockett again. I kind of enjoyed Matriarch, which came out around this time for a Huluween. This year we're getting Stay, which I'm not really sure is going to get remembered. So, what is it? Is it good? Does it have audio description? It does have audio description. Um, and the answer to the first part of the question is I don't think so. I think it had a good concept and didn't really know what to do with it. So, spoilers ahead, because I don't know what you know about this movie, but it's almost impossible to discuss without spoiling at least one key moment in the film where the film turns. Uh, I'm not looking to like, this is not I'm gonna break it down and give you the whole ending. I'm not great at recaps, but this is more like vibes. So we start with a couple, and they're in love, and we see that in flashbacks. Then we cut to sort of like the present, and Key is in this house, and she's clearly depressed, and her guy is not there, and she gets a message that he's coming by the house later to pick up his stuff, and she kind of just wallows in this, uh, you know, sadness, and she goes upstairs and lays in the bathtub and kind of wakes up, and she has a little bit of a start. The record player downstairs, the actual old school record player that they have, is playing, and she thinks that maybe her ex, or soon to be ex, turned on some music, but no, he's not there yet. Soon after he arrives, and she tries to tell him the story, but when we see it from his perspective, the machine has like dust and cobwebs on it, and so likely has not been used or been on recently. And he's listening to her and thinks that she's just drunk and crazy, and she's not feeling good, and so he's trying to be sympathetic because this is somebody that he used to love, but he's like, I don't want to be stuck in your bullshit. I just want to get my stuff and get out. We have to. The realtor's showing the house. We've got the movers coming. I just want to get my stuff out. So that's going to be a problem, because sort of while this scene is happening, the movers show up, and this is where we realize that the movie has taken a turn. So the movers are at the door, and they're knocking, and they're trying to get in, and he's trying to open the door for them like a normal person, but the door won't open, and he's calling out to them from the other side, but we see it from their perspective as well. They can't hear him. When they go to the windows, he tries to like bang out the windows, and he can't open the windows. Nothing. They can't get out of this house. This house has trapped them in there. He can't. He throws a chair at the window. Instead of it hurting the window, it shatters the chair. Tries to go out the back door. That doesn't work. Nothing happens. He can't leave this house. So whatever she was experiencing, he's now trapped in it, despite the fact that he was not experiencing necessarily the same thing, because we didn't get to see him. And from there, it just gets weirder. Like, it gets like pulled down a hallway. It's your usual kind of like, what is going on in his house type stories. Like, is this house haunted? What's the story here? But unfortunately, the movie is not as smart as it wants to be. This is why there are no stars in this movie. I don't know who these people are, and I wasn't, my desire was not sparked to try to figure it out, because Stay is not a movie that will stay with me for very long. The writer just does not trust themselves enough, and they just immediately give Key all of the powers to have all of the knowledge immediately of what's going on and how to get themselves out of it. Like, she's like, oh yeah, I've heard of this spirit that locks people in houses. Like, have you? That's convenient, you know? Like, they have these masks, much like we saw in, or at least I think anyway, from the description. I'm blind, so I'm sorry if they're like wildly different, but I would say it was reminiscent of the last Hulu original that we had, The Man in My Basement, where he had all those masks. The differences, and why I thought that movie was a little bit better, Corey Hawkins did not know what those masks were for. He wasn't like, well, this one has deep meaning, but she seems to know what all these masks are for, and know more about her culture and everything like that. And she's ready to cast spells. She's got like a book. And I feel like we did not get enough of an introduction to these characters for any of this to make any sense. So they're haunted by something, and she seems to know, the girl that's presented as being a little bit drunk and sad in her feelings suddenly is like, well, I know what spirit's doing this. Oh, let me go get my book of spells. And there's nothing really to support that. And she, like, at one point she's like transcending onto another plane where she is like, am I dead? And there's like a woman there. It's just like, no, it's not your time. Like, what the fuck is happening in this movie? What? And the funny thing is, that's the movie that it's selling you, right? I knew what the movie was the whole time. I knew what the movie was the whole time. I could tell what the movie was the whole time, minus all of this bullshit, minus all of the scary elements. I knew where this movie was headed. I didn't know anything about it. I knew exactly where this movie was headed. It was like being a kid at Christmas, and you would ask your parents for a pogo stick, and then over in the corner there's this really awkwardly wrapped present, and you have to act like you don't know it's a pogo stick as you're unwrapping it, because you don't want to like spoil your parents. Your parents are like, clearly they're like super stoked. They're like, oh my god, he doesn't know what it is. We put wrapping paper on it. He doesn't know. And you're like, what else could this be? Like, it's so uniquely shaped. Like, what else could this be? Honestly, you know? So, and then you open it up and you're like, oh my god, it's the pogo stick I wanted. Oh my god, Becky. So, yes, Stay has the most predictable ending in the world for probably about 90% of the people who will watch this movie. And I don't want to ruin it for the 10% that are like, huh? I thought it was a haunted house movie. It's not a haunted house movie. It's not. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for feeling trapped. And you'll get that because like throughout the film, they have these sort of conversations about little things, and they keep trying to not say something, and they keep trying to not talk about something until they need to talk about it. So they talk around something, and I'm like, well, I know what this is. Like, this is, I'm sorry I didn't move on as quickly as you, from what? Okay, like from what? Like, let's be honest. We have a nice young couple and they're selling a house. From what? I don't know. What do you think? But the film doesn't show you anything in flashbacks. The film is not about that in flashbacks. But, I mean, if you can't piece this together, you have not watched enough movies. So Stay was trying really hard to be like, look over here. Look over here. Sleight of hand. We're really good at it. And you're not really good at the sleight of hand. And then finally at the end, you're like, oh my god. The thing that I thought had happened. I'm agog. Aghast. I'm surprised. And this whole film didn't feel like it was worth any of the journey. Things that could have fixed the movie, actually learning about these characters ahead of time. I think it would have been, this film, I get it, you want to be a part of Huluween, But the thing that doesn't make you interesting is the fact that you have really a non-scary, it's not it's not scary, haunted house type thing where people are like looking in hallways and it's like man, where am I in this hallway? You know, like there's not much I can do in this house because it's a metaphor. Uh, so it's not that scary, and I would have established them more at the beginning, um, instead of like doing flashbacks and who are these people. Uh, I think learning who these people are, learning how they met, learning how they got together, and then doing a cut to like the present, would have been a lot better because we would have gotten to see, we get bits, but I don't know how to describe it. When you do it in the way that they did it here, it feels like these little tiny, feels like you're watching flashback sequences, but like right at the beginning, like little, like a montage of like better times. And I would have wanted something more substantial that we could have learned about these characters and then try to maneuver into this plot. I don't think you need to be in this house as much as she certainly does not need to have all the answers. Especially considering, once again, this whole thing is a metaphor. Her having all the answers is like suggesting that she has all the answers to the grief. They talk about having gone to counseling and stuff like that, and is this like, does this mean that because she went to counseling that she learned the things? Because he's like, you just went there so you could learn big, these big words, new words, fancy words, and it's like, is this a metaphor for that? Like, she now knows how to handle this problem because of that? Like, anyway, so the house kind of forces them to deal with their grief, sort of, but not really, because it doesn't allow them to process. It just forces them to relive it. And then the film ends, basically, after that. I mean, like, I don't know that it earned the ending. I don't know that anybody was better for it. I don't think that this process necessarily changed anybody or anything. This does absolutely feel like a film that would die on streaming services and just be like, well, it's not going to do anything in theaters, so let's set it to a streaming service and try to give it a big premiere and put it up at the top and hope that people notice it and click on it. And critics will review it, and I reviewed it. Bad news. It's not getting a fresh score. The audio description was fine. I didn't have any problems with that. It did everything it needed to do. It tried to make the film feel scarier than it was. But this film is, I mean, I don't even want to say PG-13 scary, because there have been some PG-13 movies that have freaked me out, like The Ring and The Grudge. But that have some pretty solid moments. Yeah, this is, I don't even want to put this in the scary movie territory, because it suggests, I mean, it has those elements where like an unseen force is there. Sure. So it has to be qualified, and somebody will be scared by it. They'll be like, oh, Jesus. Oh my God. He got pulled down the hallway by something. I didn't see it, but I was terrified. So, that's it. I stay, can leave, and I'm gonna give it a, oh God, I debated about this because I was thinking about, like, in terms of like metaphor movies, the one that stood out to me this year that also didn't work was Woman in the Yard, where there's a woman, and they're in the yard. Uh, I think I like stay a little bit less, because at least with Woman in the Yard, Danielle Detweiler is like on fire the whole time. Here, I didn't think either one of these actors were great. I feel like they're warming up to something later on in their careers. But this is not like having somebody who should have had 2 Oscar nominations by now in your film and is still clearly like upset about it and is just going to like give far more than is necessary for the film that they're being asked. It's like, girl, you're in a Blumhouse movie. Calm down. So, yeah, it's not even as good as A Woman in the Yard. So we're going to go with a 3.4 out of 10 on this one. I will not remember this movie. This movie will be deleted from my brain. It's already being deleted. I've already set it to to be deleted from my brain to allow for space for other things for me to remember. So set for deletion. Anyway, that's it. Don't watch this movie. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.